Duluth, Minnesota, on the far western tip of Lake Superior, has been battered by storms over the past few years, and it's taken a toll. So the city is taking steps to prepare one shoreline park for future storms.
Duluth's Lakewalk is a major destination, both for locals and the more than 6 million people who visit the city every year. The paved trail hugs several miles of the city's Lake Superior shore, with sweeping views of the lake and the city that make it one of Duluth's gems. In 2019, the New York Times reported on Duluth as a possible climate refuge, a haven from the worst effects of climate change. But that doesn't mean Duluth is immune. Climate models suggest a future of more powerful and more frequent storms, like the 3 storms that hit Duluth in 2017 and 2018, doing millions of dollars in damage to the waterfront, including the Lakewalk. Especially hard hit was the trail's most popular stretch, behind a row of hotels in the city's Canal Park tourist district. Mike LeBeau is construction projects manager for the city of Duluth.
It's humbling. I was down here kind of during the first part of this last big storm. People were leaving the area. The whole district, Canal Park district, was flooding, and big stones were moving around, boardwalk sections flipping around.
Parking lots and streets were flooded. The waves were high enough to close down Duluth's famous aerial lift bridge, shutting off access to an entire neighborhood. It made an impression on Duluth Mayor Emily Larson.
I remember every single one of those storms. I used to love storms. I used to love them, and now I do not. I no longer like moody weather.
That moody weather has caused tens of millions of dollars in damage over the past 5 years. The storms were declared state and federal emergencies.
One of those awesome, beautiful storms that people love to come down and drive for and take pictures. All I think about in the middle of the night is, chink, chink, chink. And because we can't retreat. This is not like you just leave it and move back. This is our front door. It's social, but it's also economic development, it's infrastructure.
In some parts of the Great Lakes, retreat is the best option for private homeowners threatened by rising lake water and a disappearing shoreline. That's not an option for Canal Park. The Lakewalk is itself a valuable asset, but it also helps to protect the hotels and businesses behind it.
After the first storm, I think we were kind of going like, okay, let's piecemeal this, let's sweep it up, let's lay some more pavement down, let's fix these boards, and then the second one, and then the third one, and you start realizing not only is that exhausting and unsustainable, it's frustrating, it's expensive, and it's not going to work. She's letting us know, this lake is letting us know who is in charge, and it is not us.
After even more storms in 2019, instead of repairing the damaged Lakewalk, the city began rebuilding it from the foundation up. City officials and businesses behind the Lakewalk hope this bigger, stronger Lakewalk will stand up to rising lake waters and the intense storms that have grown more frequent in recent years. The first line of defense is an engineered wall of giant boulders that slopes into the water.
The bulk of these rocks, the armor stone, which is just the top layer, are in the 8 to 9 ton range. They're held in place by a double row of toe stones, which are 10 to 12 tons, which are buried out in the lake. All of this material on top is several times as large as what was here before.
Behind the rocks, a thick concrete wall anchored deep in the ground offers a second layer of protection for the new, wider Lakewalk. There's also a new system to drain away water from the waves that do crash over the wall. The price tag for rebuilding just this half-mile stretch of Lakewalk and Canal Park will run about $17 million. It's expected to be complete this summer. State and federal emergency funds are expected to cover more than 2/3 of that cost.
This is a key piece to not only local enjoyment, but the tourist trade for Duluth. So it's definitely a payback, and if it lasts 50 years in good shape, that's a pretty small cost.
But if more intense storms are part of our new normal, can we really expect to get 50 years out of anything built on the lakefront?
I tend to answer that question by saying we may not have seen the worst the lake can throw our way.
One good sign, a new section of the Lakewalk the city finished a couple years ago held up during the most recent storm. The biggest change visitors will notice, in addition to the giant boulders, is that the Lakewalk is now several feet higher than it used to be. That's partly blocked the view of the lake and made it tougher to access the water. Matt Baumgardner is the president of the Canal Park Business Association.
When people started to see the plans and see that views might be obstructed a little bit from some of the wonderful hotels that we have down here, then all of a sudden it's, whoa, pump the brakes. We want to make sure this is still going to work.
But the string of big storms that's pummeled Duluth has also been a wake-up call for businesses that rely on tourists flocking to Canal Park.
We need to do something big with this. And so I think that there was an acceptance and then support that something had to happen, which we see does make it look different and feel different. But hopefully it's, and it seems to be, robustly designed and constructed and engineered so that we can have a safe lakewalk, a lakewalk for all to enjoy, and a lakewalk that's resilient, just like Duluthians are.
Thanks for watching. For more on these stories and the Great Lakes in general, visit greatlakesnow.org. When you get there, you can follow us on social media or subscribe to our newsletter to get updates about our work. See you out on the lakes.